I think we're almost ready to start recording. Yes?
Yeah. Are you ready? I'm going to hit the button right now. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Let me just go brush my teeth. Hang on a minute. Okay. Yeah. I just ate parsley. You want to see?
Okay. All right. Welcome back.
Oh, good morning, everyone.
She's lying. Good afternoon. Lesson 100.
Oh, geez, you blow it. Gosh. Okay. Yeah. I forgive you.
Thank you.
I remember my function.
Slipped my mind. All right.
But wait a minute. There's nobody else to forgive except myself.
That's right. So stop using me that way.
Okay. Lucky we're best friends.
Lesson 100. My part.
No. What did you say?
My part?
No, not my part. The lesson number
100.
Well, don't you think that's worth some kind of celebration?
Oh, yes. Woo! Pop the ball.
Oh, Lord. What can we, have we got any balloons or something? Anything?
I got nothing. You got flowers?
No.
Na, 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 na. Okay, you guys.
Our family has made it on their knees.
We still have
lesson 100.
Yes. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is a big deal. Lesson 100. We're finally getting our act together, as you can tell. We're getting polished and professional.
Are you joking? We're getting worse.
We're doing better.
You think so?
We got advertising. I know how to run a Zoom room. We got this, yo. It's good. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
This is good because yesterday we were talking about how salvation is our only function.
Yeah.
And now my part, your part, is essential to God's plan for salvation. So it's not like if I should fulfill my part, it's essential. You are essential to God's plan for salvation. All right, read, Coreen. Okay, just as God's Son completes his Father, so your part in it completes your Father's plan. Salvation must reverse the mad belief in separate thoughts and separate bodies, which lead separate lives and go their separate ways. One function shared by separate minds unites them in one purpose, for each one of them is equally essential to them all.
Can we stop here?
Uh-huh.
Something dropped. Something came through in the last lesson that we did. Okay. And I was like so excited to talk about it. And when I asked Jesus in my mind, now? He says, no. So I was like, well, when?
Now.
Patience, right? Okay. And here it is. This is it. This is it.
Good deal.
So, okay. Salvation, which is forgiveness, right, must reverse the mad belief in separate thoughts and separate bodies, which lead separate lives and go their separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One function shared by separate minds, forgiveness, unites them in one purpose, for each one of them is equally essential to all of them. And I wish I had a diagram here, but I don't, right?
Looking for
but maybe you could help me with this, is that from the human standpoint, from the mythical me standpoint, we really do believe that there are individual minds, right? Well, look at relationships that go sour.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship conflict. The only way we could have relationship conflict is if we believe that our separate mind, individual mind, conflicts with somebody else's individual mind, right? And that somebody else's truth is different than our truth.
Yes, differences, the belief in differences.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's no such thing as an individual mind.
Just the mind of God.
There's just the mind of God.
Mhm.
So if I clash with somebody's individual mind with their ego agendas
Mhm.
and manipulation, etc., then I must be seeing through my individual mind.
The ego filter, right?
That's the ego filter.
Yes.
Just different way of saying it.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
there are no individual minds, and there is no individual truth. We share truth with a capital T.
Mhm.
We share truth, which is God's law, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's creation as it is.
Okay.
So you're saying that as our function, which is forgiveness, which is salvation, right?
Mhm.
It brings us to that knowing state that there are no differences. Forgiveness leads us to the one mind, to the absence of differences, to one shared reality.
Yes. So if I am triggered by somebody else,
Mhm.
I couldn't be triggered unless I am looking
Right.
through the ego filter,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
This
So
can't be said.
only mythical me can be triggered. If I'm triggered, I'm in the false persona, a privatized persona.
Would you say that's 100% of the time?
Every time I'm triggered, yes. It's only the ego that becomes triggered, offended, has judgments or opinions, or is trying to know anything apart from God.
So the same would be said if I'm triggered by physical pain or illness or whatever it might be.
That's
Yeah,
right.
same thing. So
Exactly.
it's the ego that's perceiving it. Okay. So this brings home my one and only function.
Mhm. Yes.
If I'm triggered at all,
Mhm.
the answer to that is forgiveness. So it's
Right.
forgiving myself, right?
Yes. But but so you could sit there and go, okay, I'm forgiving the illusion of sickness, but I love what you're pointing to. It's behind the sickness is the idea that you are a separate mythical me. So we forgive the idea of the separation. Like Jesus says, you guys have lots and lots of different problems, but are you willing to lump them all to see that the only problem that you have is the belief in separation? And that the remedy for that is forgiveness and recognizing God's answer to the request for separation was inconceivable, right? It has not occurred. So thanks, sis. That's great. Yes, only an ego can see a problem or experience a lack or sickness or even die, and that's not us.
So just a refresher there. Thank you for bringing that up. There's only ever one problem.
Yes,
That means there's only one solution.
that's it.
So no matter what the form is,
Yes.
it's the belief that I'm separate
Mhm.
from my source and from my brothers and sisters. Yeah. That's what needs forgiveness. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sis. That was great. God's will for you is perfect happiness.
Oh, we forgot that, didn't we?
What?
I'm just kidding.
I forgot all
God's will for you is perfect happiness. Keep going. Sorry, I'll try not to interrupt.
No. Why should you choose to go against his will? Yeah, why should you choose to go against his will when it's only for your perfect happiness? The part that he has saved for you to take in, working out his plan. I can't read.
You're like me, sis.
It's like no sense of emphasis. Okay, the part that he has saved for you to take in, working out his plan, is is given you that you might be restored to what he wills. This part is as essential to his plan as to your happiness. Your joy must be complete to make his plan be understood by those to whom he sends you. They will see their function in your shining face and hear God calling to them in your happy laugh. I've often thought about that. It's like to be the poster child for God, to be a demonstration, right? there must be joy and happiness. And of course, that's what people will look to. You can talk all day long, but if you're, grumpy, I love this, that his will for us is perfect happiness. And when we are one with his will, that's how we appear to others. And that's what they're attracted to. You are indeed essential to God's plan. Without your joy, his joy is incomplete. Without your smile, the world cannot be saved. While you are sad, the light which God himself appointed as the means to save the world is dim and lusterless, and no one laughs because all laughter can but echo yours. Oh, wow. You are indeed essential to God's plan. Just as your light increases every light that shines in heaven, so your joy on earth calls to all minds to let their sorrows go and take their place beside you in God's plan. God's messengers are joyous, and their joy heals sorrow and despair. They are the proof that God wills perfect happiness for all who will accept their Father's gifts as theirs. We will not let ourselves be sad today, for if we do, we fail to take the part that is essential to God's plan as well as to our vision. Sadness is the sign that you would play another part instead of what has been assigned to you by God. Thus do you fail to show the world how great the happiness he wills for you, and so you do not recognize that it is yours. Today we will attempt to understand joy is our function here. If you are
places.
Today we will attempt to understand joy is our function here.
Wow.
So joy and salvation and forgiveness are the same.
That's really big.
Yeah. So the world's sense of joy is nothing, because true joy comes only through our function, which is forgiveness. So the ego would have its counterpart of joy, but that's not truly joyful, because that joy can turn into a bummer day with one problem that seems to arise. But the joy from God is uninterrupted.
It's changeless. Yeah. Yeah. And, it's continual. So it's permanent and infinite. And it's only our awareness of it that is blocked.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's when we're not in our function. We block that awareness.
Being joyful all the time. Really feel how you could that just takes care of all so-called, all problems. There's no problems in joy. Okay, if you are sad, your part is unfulfilled, and all the world is thus deprived of joy along with you.
Oh boy, what a guilt trip, man. Sorry. Oh gee. Whoa. Okay. Can we
how do we talk ourselves out of that one?
Oh boy. Okay, so if you are sad, your part is unfulfilled and all the world is thus deprived of joy along with you. Don't feel guilty about that, by the way. Oh.
Yeah. But that's the whole ego thought system, this belief that God, who is joy and happiness and perfection, it's like we wanted something other than that. So here we are. Okay. And the world is thus deprived of joy along with you. God asks that you be happy, so the world can see how much he loves his son, and wills no sorrow rise up to abate his joy. No fear beset him to disturb his peace. You are his messenger today. You bring his happiness to all you look upon, his peace to everyone who looks on you and sees his message in your happy face. Okay.
Good.
So does that mean we should muster up some happiness and slap a smile on our face? Or does it mean we get on about our function in forgiveness and that joy is a result of that?
A really good question. All right. Because Yeah, otherwise a spiritual ego does do that. It says, okay, I've got to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And that is not what he's saying here. He's really calling us to be authentic as well, and to forgive ourselves for feeling anything other than certain joy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be honest about what we're feeling so that it can be raised up to our awareness and forgiven. And in its place will be joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a deep peace in that too. That joy. Thank you.
We will prepare ourselves for this today in our 5-minute practice periods by feeling happiness arise in us according to our Father's will and ours. Begin the exercises with the thought today's idea contains. Then realize your part is to be happy. Only this is asked of you or anyone who wants to take his place among God's messengers. Think what this means. You have indeed been wrong in your belief that sacrifice is asked. You but receive according to God's plan and never lose or sacrifice or die. Now, yeah, it was. I didn't know if I should keep going or not, but yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we have touched on this in another lesson, but that whole idea that through the ego filter, we believe that love demands sacrifice, right? So we believe that God demands sacrifice. That's so heavily rooted in our belief system. It's a big one.
It is, and we need to really see where we're doing that, because otherwise we'll always be afraid of God and we'll always be content being a seeker. It's not until we realize that God's love doesn't require sacrifice at all that everything that we care about will be repurposed by Holy Spirit. That's huge. Or die. Now let us try to find that joy which proves to us and all the world God's will for us. It is your function that you find it here and that you find it now. For this you came. Let this one be the day that you succeed. Look deep within you, undismayed by all the little thoughts and foolish goals you pass as you ascend to meet the Christ in you. He will be there, and you can reach him now. What could you rather look upon in place of him who waits that you may look on him? How does that say?
Sorry, Susan, you lost me in that sentence.
Can you help me here?
I don't know.
What could you rather look upon in place of him who waits that you may look on him?
Oh, okay. What would you rather see instead of him? Holy Spirit, who's really waiting patiently for you to look upon him, right? Rather than all of the other crap that you've been looking at for all of these years.
I need to yes, thank you. Yes.
Sorry.
What little thought has power to hold you back?
Right.
What foolish goal can keep you from success when he who calls to you is God himself?
Oh, that's a biggie too.
He will be there. You are essential to his plan. You are his messenger today. And you must find what he would have you give. Yeah, no kidding. He's appointed us to be his messengers. So of course he's going to be there to give us the message to extend.
Yeah.
Do not forget the idea for today between your longer practice periods. It is yourself who calls to you today, and it is him you answer every time you tell yourself you are essential to God's plan for the salvation of the world. God's messengers. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation.
So no one else can fulfill your part in his plan for salvation.
Yes.
Each one of us has a part, a crucial part in God's plan for salvation.
And you can see that, you know, there aren't any two teachers of God that are alike, and each one of us have these amazing gifts and qualities. I mean, we all have the kingdom of heaven within us, but emphasize with each individuated expression, we have gifts and talents, and those are to bring God's message to the sonship, whether that's through music or business or art or, you know, unpacking the course, or, you know, it's just infinite ways. All of our gifts and talents are there for a reason, but it's who are we placing it in service to glorify a one that doesn't exist, or to glorify God?
Well said. Well said. Thank you.
And I love that it's the light and the joy and the happiness and our smile that really is the attractor, because words are words, but people can feel you. And that's what calls to them. They will feel the authenticity. They'll see a light in you that they know that they want that. What is it that that person has? You can preach a sermon all day long, but it's your integrity, your authenticity. Do you believe what you're saying and you're sharing? And is there love in the message? That's what's going to convince somebody or awaken them. Yeah. Thanks, sis.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We did it. 100.
100.
100.
100.
Very good, you guys.
Thanks for staying with us, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for not.
It's really big. Yeah, we're feeling supported by you. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Loving the comments, loving the sharings, love to hear what's happening with you guys. So keep in touch with the comments, and of course all the free resources there that are available to you, including Nouk's blogs. Those are really powerful.
Very good.
Okay, we'll see you next time for 101.
101, that's one of my favorites.
What is it?
Well, God's will for me. No, I was going to say God's will for me is perfect happiness, but this one is I share God's will for happiness for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's our will too. I like being happy.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys. Mwah.